So, Ellie tells me you guys are going to look for what is it, a pink goose?
No, it's,
Nope, not a pink goose. No such thing as a pink goose. It's a pink-footed goose. So if I came to see a pink goose, then I guess this whole trip would have been a big waste of time, wouldn't it? Pink goose. Maybe there's a purple swan out there, too. Let's go.
In today's video, I talk about the 2011 birdwatching comedy, The Big Year. Let's get into it. This is one of my favorite ensemble comedies. The Big Year is about a great birdwatching tradition where birders will go out and see how many different bird species they can see in North America in one calendar year. The film follows a divorced, lonely, middle-aged computer programmer named Brad Harris, played by Jack Black, who is an expert at identifying birds on sound alone. He decides to do a big year despite disapproval from his aging father. Next, we have the retired CEO Stu Preisler, played by Steve Martin. After working way too hard for way too long, he finally decides to go after his childhood dream of doing a big year. And finally, we have Kenny Bostic, the reigning and defending big year record holder, played by short-haired Owen Wilson. Kenny has his own successful company with 2 failed marriages and a third one on the rocks. This film follows the 3 of them as they go all out to see as many birds as possible. When I watched this film for the first time, as I try to do with every film I watch, is that I try to go into a film with an open mind and let the film's story and dialogue take me wherever it goes, with little to no expectation on how it should play out. The adventure that this movie takes you on is an adventure I would sign up for. First, I'll go over how the movie came to be, then I'll talk about why it wasn't successful despite being secretly great. The movie was written by Howard Franklin, who's primarily been a screenwriter, but he wrote and directed Quick Change in 1990, a film which is often considered underrated and overlooked by its earnest and faithful fanbase. He adapted the story loosely off of the 2004 book, The Big Year, A Tale of Man, Nature, and Foul Obsession, by Mark Obmasic. In the book, Obmasic tells the true story of the 1998 Big Year birding competition, following 3 birders that were used as inspirations for the characters in the movie. David Frankel directed the film. 2 notable films he directed before this was The Devil Wears Prada and Marley and Me, which also had Owen Wilson. Frankel also directed a few episodes of Band of Brothers, Sex and the City, and Entourage. I truly think The Big Year is Frankel's best film. Hey, it's me. I'm just coming by mid-video to remind you guys, if you haven't subscribed already, I would really appreciate any extra subscriber I could get. I'm trying real hard to get to 100 subscribers. But anyway, back to the video. The movie was filmed all over British Columbia, Attu Island in Alaska, as well as Arizona, Texas, and New York. The slip and fall that Jack Black took when he was on Attu was accidental and unscripted. Even though this movie was heavily anticipated by the birdwatching community, with a budget of $41 million, it grossed $8.1 million worldwide, making it a box office bomb. There is an argument to be made that you have to love birds to love this film, but I would disagree. I went into the movie without ever getting into birdwatching, without knowing anything about it, and this movie got me somewhat interested in birds. I've never been birdwatching before, but I do now own a birding book, and I've kept my eyes and ears opened when I'm outside, in case I happen upon a bird. This movie is fast-paced and has a lot of excitement. There are helicopter rides, flights through bad weather in the cold Alaskan air, long road trips, and boat rides across beautiful scenic views. The visual stimulus alone is worth the price of admission. John Cleese single-handedly saved this film. He was the narrator who gave a David Attenborough-style nature documentary feel to the story.
The Americans celebrated Christmas Day with contests to kill the most birds in a single day. In 1900, Audubon Society ornithologist Frank Chapman suggested Americans should count them instead.
Cleese kept redirecting my attention back to the main characters and back to the birds. His voice was very refreshing and repeatedly kept me interested and engaged. Cleese offered much-needed insight and education on birds and the birding community. There were some great guest appearances and supporting roles in this movie. Rashida Jones was a great love interest. Joel McHale and Angelica Houston also had great appearances. I especially loved Brian Dennehy as Jack Black's disapproving, old-school dad. Man, no one sells disappointment like Dennehy.
Well, I guess everybody needs a vacation.
It's not a vacation, Dad.
Well, it's not work, unless somebody's paying you to stay in hotels.
And look at birds.
Dad?
Okay, you're right. I'm sorry.
I guess I'm just kind of confused about what a vacation is.
Even though it does have a few comedic moments, and I would still label it a comedy, it's really more of a pure adventure film. There are not a lot of big laughs, but not because the jokes fell flat, but because there were not many jokes written into the film. A great way to view it would be how you would watch a sports comedy. You're not really there for the comedy, but you kind of get swept up in the competition. Even though birdwatching isn't a sport, big ear birdwatching is still a competition. The subject matter at hand drove the plot more than anything else. I would say that regardless of the subject matter, how the feelings of adventure mixed with a sense of urgency are portrayed in The Big Year, it can still be very entertaining. If The Big Year was about who could collect the most whoopee cushions in 1 year, it would still be a great film because of how the characters made me feel. In The Big Year, we see 3 different perspectives of how one would relate to pursuing their dream. On one side, we have Stu, who is a devoted family man and provider. Stu loves birding, but he put his dream of doing a big year on the back burner to focus on his family and his career. Then we have Kenny on the opposite end of the spectrum, who loves birding so much that he puts everything else second, including his wives that keep leaving him because of his obsession. Brad Harris is kind of in the middle. He's a lonely guy with lots of free time on his hands, and birding has filled the hole that loneliness left him. At some point in the movie, each of them realize that their dreams and hobbies are not what's most important in life, as much as the people who they spend their life with. It's not a comedy, it's a feel-good movie that will pick you up and refresh you whenever you need it. This is also a very unique type of film. There are not a lot of movies out there about birds or bird watching. There are a lot of documentaries about birds and bird watchers. There was a great documentary I watched about bird watchers in Central Park. And there are also a lot of movies where they do contain birds and bird watchers, but it's not the main focus of the story. If you're talking about a narrative film that's solely about bird watching, this is pretty much it. There's not a lot of movies that even come close to being similar. To be honest, I think the reason why it bombed in theaters was because it was a bird-watching movie. I think Fox thought that with enough star power thrown into it, people would watch the movie no matter what it's about. And the fact that these are 3 well-known comedic actors, audiences were expecting a laugh-out-loud, ball-busting comedy, when in reality they just got a well-made, feel-good docudrama about birding. The title did not incite public interest at all. I get that they called it The Big Year because of the book, but it is a rather bland and generic title. Apparently, they were originally going to call it Big Year. Needless to say, I'm glad they added a the. I would have called it Fly Eagles Fly, or From Here to Attu, or Birds of a Feather. The PG rating also didn't help with audience perception. Even though Jack Black has had a lot of success in building a niche genre that will go to his PG live-action films, most of his audience couldn't fit into the birding niche. But I love that a great movie about birds exists, the same way that Nicolas Cage's character wanted to write a movie about flowers in the movie Adaptation. And he talks to his writing teacher, Robert McKee, who tells him,
"Your characters must change. And the change must come from them."
All in all, this is a fine film if you're feeling frustrated in life, for birders and non-birders alike. Let me know in the comments what you thought of The Big Year, and let me know what your favorite bird is. Mine is the belted kingfisher. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.